have it on pause. Mari, we're on.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were opening or I was, but welcome everybody to Spirit Chat. Welcome everybody. We're letting people come into the Zoom room and the stream. So in case you don't know who I am Mari Cartagenova. I am a medium, a psychic, animal communicator. I also work with past lives and soul connections, and I've been doing this work for a very long time. And I am honored to share this platform with the amazing Winter Brook, and she will give you a little introduction of herself as well in a moment. But welcome to the show. For people that have been following us, we like to cover different metaphysical type of topics every month when we do the show. And today we wanted to do animals because a couple times we did it, people have been so excited to share their furry friends with us. And I do animal communication as well as Winter. And, we'd love to talk with your animals and about your animals and maybe give you some tips on how you can connect your animals as well. So thank you for joining us. Feel free to share the stream and welcome in. Winter, let's hear a little bit about what's going on with you.
Thank you, Mari. But I do want to mention to everyone, Mari sometimes can be a little humble, but she was voted Animal Communicator of the Year by Om magazine readers. So yay, she's outstanding in her practice. And I am so blessed to be able to work with her because I do animal communication along with mediumship, and I do mental mediumship, which is what most people know, connecting with your loved ones on the other side. And I also do physical mediumship, and I have been invited to be a tutor at the International Physical Mediumship Conference in Albany next year. And I was just a tutor at the Physical Symposium at Lilydale. We're going to, let's see, whose background noise? Okay. So with me today, because Mari wanted to do animal communication, we both love it, and we get a lot of enthusiasm from our listeners. I wanted to tie in a little bit. I also foster for rescues. Now, I understand, like, not everybody's from Long Island and New York where I am. Some people are in Massachusetts. I don't know if it's as bad up there, but presently, in the last couple of months, the New York City and Long Island shelters have actually stopped intaking because they're over capacity. So we're having a real problem here. So the rescues, the little individual rescues that rely on fosters, they've been struggling. And joining us today in the audience is a lovely woman, Sharon Joy. And she approached me, and because she knew I was fostering, this is one of the little guys I'm fostering. And she said, I'd like to do a fundraiser. Can we do something? I said, sure. So we decided to do a Zoom fundraiser. If you guys want, we're keeping the ticket prices low, $25. And all the proceeds are going to the rescue because this little guy who is Bentley, he's one of 5 kittens and the mama's getting spayed today, who need to be fixed and vaccinated, and tested, and then they're going to go into forever homes. We got to find them forever homes. So we thought we'd raise some money towards the vetting. They're staying with me. I'm doing the food and stuff, but the rescues, they're small organizations. So, and the rescue that's backing this litter is founded by a lovely attorney, Shelley Benincourt. So, right down my groove. Most of you may be aware I'm a retired attorney, and her 403c charitable organization is Second Chance Animal Rescue League, Inc. So that's my charity pitch. And of course, Mari's 100% behind it because she loves the animals too. So if you're free on Tuesday, September 26th, please feel free to send me a note and buy a ticket. It'll be from 7 to 8:30 and have a picture. And Sharon, wave to everybody so they can see you. Sharon and I will be donating our time. to raise funds towards these little stinkers medicals. As far as other things, I'm a teacher. I have classes starting up tomorrow night if you want to learn about psychic mediumship, animal communication, or remote viewing. And classes, I'm doing trance for a lovely school out in Vancouver that's starting again on Zoom. That's starting mid-October. And I have a lot of other things. If you're local, reach out to me because I have some physical mediums coming to my office and some other nice library events around Long Island that are free to attend. Okay, so enough of my chattering. You know what happens when you give the microphone
Pancakes are still okay, but
to an attorney. They just keep talking, especially the Irish ones. Okay, so welcome everyone. And Mari, shall we do a couple readings to start, or do you want to explain the process to help them? How would you like to proceed?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind explaining the process. And I have a couple events that are coming up. I haven't updated my website, so forgive me if you've been on there. It's just been a super crazy summer. I'm sort of crazy with a lot of different things happening right now, but I do have events that are going on, but I can sort of update you at the end of the show. I wanted to talk a little bit, Winter, actually, about how people can connect with their own animals. Since obviously, you can always come to one of us and we're happy to do it for you. But I think it's important that that everybody that's watching know that it's not like a magical thing that we're doing. It may seem like it is sometimes, and while I certainly appreciate that, it's definitely something that everybody can do to different levels, right? So again, the example I always use is, if you want to get in shape or whatever, be a bodybuilder, you would cut carbs and you would, work out and watch what you eat and all that type of stuff. Same thing with this. If you want to get better and better at it, then you would want to work with someone like me or Winter or somebody that's in this field to work on your skills. But it doesn't mean even without any training that you can't even get like the rudimentary connection to your animal, because you absolutely can. And the first thing that I like to recommend people doing is just, obviously, this sounds like duh, but spending time with them. So you want to spend some time with them, but not, of course, everyone's spending time with their animals, but spend time with this in mind. So say, for example, you're sitting on the couch with them. You want to just sort of start to feel into your heart space a little bit. I know that might sound a little strange, but for me and for most people that do this type of work, when you're in your head, that's not really connecting with spirit. That's sort of more your imagination and things you're thinking about. So you want to really try to get into your body, whether it's through meditation, deep breathing, chanting, anything like that. And while you're with your furry friend, try to connect this part, your heart center, with your friend. And you can even think things like, I want to try to connect with you, or Fluffy, what are you thinking? And just sort of try to move some of this energy in your body towards your pet. Just very, very basic. And as you're sitting there trying to connect with them, what do you get? Do you get a color? Do you have a feeling? Do you get an image of something in your mind? Anything that you get is some type of communication. And it's important that you trust that, because people say to me, oh, it was, I got this picture of a gas station and it was just something I made up and it doesn't make any sense. And, while it's possible that it doesn't make any sense, more than likely 99% of the time, it does have a connection and you just don't know what it is yet. So sort of allow yourself to open up, allow yourself to have that connection with the animal, and see what they have to say to you, and be accepting of it. It may be something like, I want more cheese, or something. You might see an image of a cheese. You might smell cheese. I don't know. I'm just sort of, making it up here. But allow yourself to be open to that, because everybody has that ability to connect to their animals. It's just a matter of taking the time and trying to spend some time doing that. And that's just, a very, very brief description and tip of how you can try to connect with your animals, because I think it's important that everybody knows you don't need to see an animal communicator or a medium to be able to connect with your own furry friends, because they are always trying to connect with us. They're always trying to send out images, messages, feelings. It's just a matter of whether we are receptive to those messages. Winter, do you have any suggestions on how you just briefly connect with your animal friends?
Yes, and here's just a funny story on to latch onto your statement about they always want to connect. I was up in Lilydale in June to teach, and this is also why I added remote viewing to the intro classes I'm going to start this week. I woke up, I was staying with a friend, first time, and when I pulled up in the driveway, there was a spirit welcoming me. So, this is Lilydale, the spirits
Yeah.
hang out. So all of a sudden, 3 a.m, I hear a yell. It startles me awake. Definitely heard a yell. So the next morning, I asked my friend, Mike, and who I was staying with, I said, did you like have a nightmare or something? And she said, no, but I went to the bathroom around 2:30 and I heard you snoring, so you were asleep then. I said, no, I'm talking about 3 o'clock. And I'm like, yeah, I do snore, whatever. So then I spoke to my daughter back on Long Island. I said, how are you doing? She was taking care of the pets. And she said, Ma, Rumi, who's the big orange cat I usually have, sat outside her bedroom door around 3 o'clock screaming because I was not home.
Oh.
So I said, you know what? I'll tell you what, Dakota, I'm going to astral project home tonight. I can't do anything now because I have to go teach, and I'll try to calm him down. And I know that sounds insane, but before I was open to all this, and I was just an attorney, my dog would stop eating. I went on a cruise with my daughter, so I had to call the dog to talk to him so he'd eat. So these are things that happen. Now, in this case, I heard the cat screaming. I did astral project that night after I went to bed, and don't remember much other than walking through the hallway. And apparently the cat did not scream again. It was fine for the rest of the week that I was up teaching. So that's why I added remote viewing / astral projection, because I figured other pet owners, like Mari said, these are just inherent psychic abilities that many people have and are unaware of. Not everybody has it, but I can't play Mozart on the piano. So, but the only way you're going to find out is if you try, and most people surprise themselves. So when I blend, which is something I love to do, I'm a very curious individual. So one of my favorite pastimes is to go to the zoo, believe it or not, and spirit will normally guide me to go to a particular animal in the zoo, because animals, in addition to your pets, Native American belief systems and other shamanic type belief systems believe we are aided and guided by animal guides, and they bring in certain abilities or strengths for us when we're in a time of need. So one time they guided me to the snowy owl, and I stood there. Now, I'm not recommending you go into a full altered state in the middle of a crowded zoo, but my family were risk takers. We climbed Mount Everest, right? My cousin did that, but anyway, twice. Nuts. So I sat there and I blended with the snowy owl because I wanted to know, what does it feel like to be an owl? What am I going to think about as an owl? I'm curious. And the owl, animals, I've never really had an animal not give me permission to do that, because then they get to blend with me too. And it's a loving connection. Well, I forgot animals turn their necks 180 degrees. Owl turns his neck 180 degrees. My neck cracked. I had better range of motion for the rest of the afternoon, because I had a car accident when I was in law school that limits my range of motion, than I had in 20 years. My students at the time were cracking up like, you found a new chiropractor. So there are fun things to do in addition to being able to communicate with your pet, like Rumi yells, because I'm not home. There's this whole world you can investigate that you never even knew of possibilities. And I echo Mari's sentiments about how to do it is basically heart-to-heart connection. You throw out a may I blend with you, or may I blend. That's when the two spirits, the spirit of the animal and your spirit, blends their energy. They do not take you over, although I did get the cracked neck. That was a benefit to me. And And depending how deep you can go into the blend, the more you will experience. I want to know the thought processes. Blended with a number of different animals. It's interesting. I have other stories, but I'm not going to monopolize. So I agree with Mari. That's, when I teach trance and blending, which is the basis of all mediumship. And this is a form of mediumship because you're blending your energy with another being, in this case, your pet or the owl at the zoo. Oh, we got lots of people. Hi, Paige. Hi, Janet. Hi, Angela. It's just allowing your energy and their energy and through the heart chakra. And it's almost like an imaginative. You've got to use the side of your brain that's on top of your imagination. So don't doubt it. Okay. Just, I blended with a bear at the Holtzville Ecology Center on Long Island, and I walked out of there having to have fish dinner. So people might think that was kind of made up because that's what you think a bear's going to eat, which they do. But I really had to have salmon for dinner that night. It was like a pregnant woman with cravings. So depending how deep you can go in your blend, the more you will experience. And your animals, for all you've made a soul contract before you incarnated with the particular pet that you may have in your life now. My animals have taught me. My Sheltie taught me about astral projection. I saw him out of his body. Wizard, my Bernese mountain dog, taught me about clairaudience with the animals, as did Magic, my big guy now. So be amazed, be open-minded. We do, Mari, have somebody said they put their photo on your going live post, the one in purple.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was looking
Hannah
and
Schwartz.
oh, cute. Okay, yeah, we have a couple photos here. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you for sending those, by the way. That's awesome. But I also wanted to comment on what you were saying, Winter, is that it's that astral projection or remote viewing, like that's really important, certainly. And I do a lot of work with missing animals, and that's how I find them, is that I'm almost like a GoPro on top of the animal's head, and the animal sort of shows me where he's been going and what he's passed and what he's doing. And that's really an important component. If this is something that you are interested in getting more involved in, that's definitely a technique that is not that hard to learn. I know it sounds kind of like woo-woo and out there, but it's really not that hard, and you can get a lot of information that way from your animal and just from what's going on in his surroundings. And I absolutely agree with you, Winter, in terms of your story of Rumi screaming, and to try to avoid things like that before I go away. And I tell everybody, if you're going to leave, even if it's going to you're going to go to work or you're going to be gone for a day or two, tell your animals. It's important you tell them, because they understand. They don't maybe understand in the way we do, but they do understand in their own way. So say, I'm going to be gone for 3 days or 3 sleeps or whatever your terminology is, and explain it to them and say, when I get home, and then have a treat for them, because they do understand. Otherwise, when you leave, they don't know if you're leaving for an hour or a month. So it's important to do that for them. Just like you would tell another person in the house, hey, I'm going to the grocery store or something, do that for your animals as well. Just wanted to add that, because I know my animals get very upset if I don't tell them where I'm going. So I don't want any of the animals to be upset ever. So all right.
Poor
So
kittens, as you're tuning in, these poor kittens have never been away from mama. This is their first time. Mama's getting spayed today.
Oh, they're very cute. I wish I could adopt them all. So
No, you
I want to
do.
hug every cat,
So if any of you see one of them that you're interested in, reach out to me, Brook Psychic Medium. We can always make arrangements. I drive up to Boston every couple of months. It's through you'd have to apply through through the rescue. But if you see one that you're interested in, let me know. And Mari, you're tuning into
Yeah, I was going to ask because I'm not sure if everybody that sent me pictures is here or they are on the Facebook page, but I do have the kitty here. There's a kitty I'm looking at. It's foster baby Philly
Yeah, that's
from
mine.
Hannah. Is that yours? So he's currently with you. Like he's currently on.
She was my foster. She's currently with a different foster, but
Okay. All right.
I'm hoping to get her back.
Okay. So did you have like a question or did you just want me to connect in general with her?
Yeah, she just has a ton of health issues going on that have been really challenging. So if there was anything that she had to share about, I don't know, giving us any insights. I mean, there's some stuff we know that she has heartworm, which is very rare for a cat.
Yeah.
And she has FIV and and she is the sweetest girl in the world. So
yeah,
just figured if there was anything I could find out to help her.
For sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. And just like I like to tell people, I'm not a medical intuitive, so I can sort of feel things in their body when they're not right, but I'm not the one that does, oh, their liver is off and the enzymes. Like I don't know that much about medical stuff to do that. So that's not really me, but I can sort of connect with them just in general and see what she has to say. It's interesting because when I first started, I'm just looking at the beautiful photo you sent. So if anybody hasn't seen it on Facebook, beautiful girl. The first thing when I was connecting with her was that she was saying it's funny, there's something about her that she doesn't want other people's help. I don't know if you understand that, but there's some piece about like I want to do it myself, or like I don't want to bother people. Also, there's some piece about that, which is kind of interesting because usually, I guess to me, animals, they're just like people. They have different personalities, and some of them are a pain in the butt, and some of them are, a little easier to deal with. And when I was talking to her, she's like, "Well, I don't want to worry people, and I don't like." There's something about wanting to do it herself, and so I'm feeling like, I don't know if you said she was a rescue, but that she had not a great start to her life, whether she was abandoned or abused. There's some piece about that with her. And it's almost like she took on that feeling of like, I need to do everything myself. I can only rely on myself. I can only trust myself. So that is almost transferring to her physical problem. Like, do you understand that piece?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. And so what I would recommend, and again, I know you said that you're not with her per se, but if you want to reconnect with her and, adopt her or whatever you're working on, is talk to her about that, because she's really somebody that needs to learn to trust, not just physically with the relationship, but almost like trusting with somebody else with their ability to take care of her, if that makes sense. Like she's like, well, I don't want anyone's help because she's not really sure if someone's going to hurt her like before. So there's that piece. And to feel like, well, it's so weird. She has like a worthiness thing, almost like she doesn't deserve it. I don't know if you understand that. Like, it's almost like I'm not enough for you to care about me. There's something about that I'm feeling with
So
her.
sad. Yeah, I feel because she left my foster to be with another foster who was gonna potentially adopt her, who actually adopted her kitten. And she was there for like a month, but then the woman fostering to adopt her was like, this is too much. Like all the treatments were pretty intense. And so I think it probably broke Philly's heart and so I don't think she wants to feel at home anywhere, probably, because she doesn't get to stay.
Because that sort of feeds into her, I don't want to say like lack of deserving. I mean, of course, all the animals are deserving, but it's like almost her feeling like I'm not good enough. And if somebody rejected her, then that just feeds into that, like the kid that gets bullied at school. Well, of course I'm bad. Like everybody's treating me bad. It's like that piece. And I'm also feeling like, and yes, that I hear about the physical piece, but as I'm sort of scanning her body a little bit, it almost feels like because she's so sensitive that some of the medical stuff is because of the stress. And I'm not saying that if she's in a good home that everything is going to disappear, but I think that, and there's something about her diet too. And again, I don't know, like, if
they changed it to something pretty extreme, like some anti-allergy, like very bland diet.
Yeah, there's something about that it's like, and again, I'm not the doctor, so I don't know what she's missing, but it almost feels like what she was eating before was aggravating what she had. So it almost feels like something that would be very calming for her, because I'm not so much feeling stomach upset with her when I'm connecting with the food piece. It almost just feels like whatever food she was being given before was aggravating some of her conditions. And again, she's showing me like her joints also. I don't know if she has like inflammation in any of the joints, but it almost feels like difficulty kind of getting around a little bit. Not like she can't walk, but just like, I'm not, like when I connect medically, it's like I feel it in my body. So it's like I'm not feeling comfortable in my joints. I'm feeling, it's kind of yucky. So, and again, not a vet, but like chondroitin or anything like that that might help her with that movement piece and just getting into a stable environment. And really, like, I think you guys would be an awesome match if you're able to connect with her again and get her. But she really needs someone to understand her, to let her know that she's worth it and she deserves the time, and just a really stable, quiet environment with a lot of love. And I feel like some of this will disappear with the diet, with the love, and just the consistency with her as well. Also, I'm feeling some litter box issues, but that just feels like it's a result of the stress.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope that was helpful.
That was helpful. I appreciate it.
Oh, good. Happy to.
Amazing, my partner.
Thank you.
I'm just going to add one thing is that I concur completely if you can take her back, because what I'm perceiving in where you're sitting is just a whole lot of healing energy. And I think she might be benefited by that. Also a calmer. I don't know if the other people have dogs or young kids or something.
Yeah.
Well, she's with the coordinator, the foster coordinator. So there's a ton of cats.
Oh, animals
around.
coming in and out. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
So the thing is, I think she will flourish more after she gets over the initial grieving period if she's separated from. Yeah. So I'm going to put a prayer out there that that's what will result.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome. Mari, I'm not seeing the pictures on your stream. I don't know how to change it to see them. So I'm just going to go to Claudia.
No, that's fine. Yeah, you do the next one. And then I have a couple. I have a dog, and there was somebody, Marie's dog, I think.
So I know it's animal communication, Claudia, but I got a grandmother just said she's going to speak her piece. Would you understand a grandmother in spirit? And sweetheart, you can unmute yourself. I muted.
Yeah, we can't hear her.
Okay.
Okay,
can
good.
You hear me?
See you and hear you. So I will do an animal, but I needed to acknowledge the grandmother in spirit. Do you understand a grandmother in spirit?
Yes.
A very strong-willed, kind of short on the short side of height when she was here, and she needed to come through and reassure you she's walking behind you, in front of you, and on either side of you.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Because I guess somebody's been kind of not very nice with you lately, and life in general. You keep getting knocked down and getting right back up, but she wants you to know she's kind of half lifting you up too.
Okay, great.
You're taking everything in grace. For you're not complaining or everybody's complaining right now because it's with like 8 planets in retrograde, everything's happening. But you've been taking all these little things gracefully, and she wants you to know she's been with you this whole time. So do you have a particular pet or one in spirit you'd like me to connect with?
I do have a cat that passed. I don't know if you guys, so I have our picture here.
Great. Okay. I mean, obviously it makes it a little easier to see a picture of the animal. It makes it easier for us to connect quicker with the show platform. So let me see. So you had her till her teenage years.
Yes. She passed away at 19 and a half.
Okay. Teenagers. There we go. Wow. I just got that one in there. And she was a rescue. And she was your second half.
Yes.
All right. This is one of the losses that has been very, I'd say the last 9 months you've lost her.
It's going on almost 2 years next month.
Okay,
But
my
yeah.
apologies.
No,
So I'm
it's
a little bit off on the time frame.
it's okay.
So this is one of the losses, though, I feel like grandma's like kind of trying to assist you with because you took this hard. I do feel like you had this cat when you were in college,
Mhm.
and like, so she was with you. I mean, she was always there, and
Yeah.
now she's not. And you do get messages and signs from her.
Mhm.
Sometimes you're not quite sure if it's your imagination, but I think there was a ball or something of hers, a toy that fell off a shelf where you had stuck it.
Yeah.
And you found it in the living room floor. She's showing me. So
Mhm.
yes, cats are very cat spirits can do the same thing that human spirits can. Mine sent me a dime. And she's still trying to play with you.
Mhm.
Even, maybe the last 4 years she slowed down, but up until then, she was still wanting to play with the little
Yeah.
pole toys. She wanted to bat things around. My cats, I mean, they hit 6 and that was it, couch potatoes for the rest of the life. But your cat, she maintained that youthfulness and playfulness. Now, is there a cat now in the house though?
Not no, not now.
There was another cat though she shared the house with.
When I lived with my parents when like she was a baby, yeah.
So because she wants to acknowledge another cat that she lived
Okay,
with.
yeah. Yeah,
All
she did live
right.
with me. Yeah.
So my apologies. And they're together.
Okay, good, good.
All right, because she needed to acknowledge that there was another cat. And if you are in the market, this little guy needs
Uh,
home.
I would love to. My husband's not ready yet, but
Mm.
I'm there. I would
Okay,
love
so
to.
be aware that when you adopt another cat, especially with so many in need, your cat will engage with them. Cats, I think more so than dogs, because not all my dogs are psychic, some of them are, but every single cat I've ever met has been able to perceive spirit and you'll see them play. So you rule out things like it's not a bug or something, but she will be engaging in play. And be aware she would like you to get another pet because you still have that hole in your heart.
Mhm.
Obviously, that's, you got to work with your husband on that,
Right.
but it's not, it would make her happy to see you with another one and she'll be playing with it because she's out of her pain. Was there like a kidney issue with her towards the end?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so all that stayed here.
Okay.
And she's fit and fancy free and wants to play. And I'm sure I'll invite her over because these guys could play with somebody too. I'm going to keep mom away from them for a good 24 to 36 hours after the spaying. So we'll invite your cat to come play with these guys tonight.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
All right,
Thank you.
so God bless you and know she's still around. She's still going to send you sign. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Very nice. I just wanted to add, Hannah, if you're still there, what was your kitty's name? I didn't get her name.
It's Claudia.
Claudia. Okay, Claudia.
No. I was reading Claudia.
Oh, sorry. What's the, I
That's
was just, what is the name of your kitty, Hannah? Oh, no, sorry, because you were reading Claudia. No, I don't have Claudia on my screen.
Oh.
Well, anyway, I was just getting some messages from the kitty. I just wanted to hear the name of the kitty that you just read.
Pearl.
Pearl.
Oh, what a lovely
very
name.
Sweet. Yeah, lovely name. Well, it was interesting as I sort of, while Winter was talking, I was connecting with her a little bit. There's a real depth to her. Like she has like a real depth and a real wisdom and connectedness. And so that's, I can feel why she was your second half, but there's some piece about her really being a teacher for you as well. Because obviously all of our animals, we love them and they're all special in their own way, but they're not all deep and wise and connected as we would maybe like them to be. But I can feel with Pearl that was a real piece of her. It was almost, it's interesting with her, there's like a lot of masculine energy with her as well. And I just, because I kept seeing her and I was like, oh wow, is that a boy? But there's something like very strong and masculine and almost like take charge about her. But there is that wisdom, and that, like, again, she keeps telling me, like, that she helped you a lot more than you helped her in some ways. Does that make sense to you? She
Yes.
was not just being there for you and purring and all that stuff, but it's almost like that she was a teacher for you. And that's what she's showing me. And she's also very grateful for everything that you did for her, because she knows that you would have gone to the ends of the earth. And in terms of the medical piece, it almost feels like there were multiple doctors or multiple different things you tried to sort of help her. And she's very grateful for that. And it's important that you know that. And I totally understand about a broken heart when your kitty passes. It's just, I would like to say it gets better, it gets a little better, but there's those special animals that we have, and I have myself, that they always leave that hole. And while I agree with Winter that it's good sometimes to get another cat, you definitely want to allow yourself to heal, because the other cat will be picked out by her, and she's going to train it and definitely, sort of help the new cat learn the ropes, as it were. But it's still not going to be her. It's still going to have its own soul and everything. And I'm really sorry that, that passing, I can just feel how difficult and painful it's been. And in some ways, when we lose an animal like that, like our soul animal, it's harder than losing a person. And so I just wanted to sort of give you a little bit of feedback on that. And she's a very, very special girl. So I will add you to my prayer list as well. You are welcome.
I have to share another story. I'm so sorry. I have a 92-year-old friend. She just turned 92 that I look after. And she doesn't drive. She's housebound. About 9 years ago, a tenant moved out, left their cat. I called her. She ended up taking the cat. The cat was the center of her universe. Cat had to be put down in June because it developed cancer. So it was a middle-aged cat when she got it. She had it for 9 years. I mean, the whole house would be in an upset if the cat was not feeling well. So now she was coming over from the day I got these kittens. They were 3 days old, and the mama cat, and she fell in love with the mama cat. And I wasn't sure if, the rescue would be willing to let a 92-year-old woman adopt a 1.5-year-old mama cat. But the cat, the lady who runs it, she actually has her 91-year-old mother fostering, because she asked to, a litter that are FIV positive. And so they don't want to mix them so much. So she's like, all right, as long as she has a co-signer. So I said, okay, Helen, I'll co-sign so you can adopt the cat. It just means the cat goes back to me if anything happens to Helen. And she's just so happy, because this cat is like, loves to sit and just be pet. The minute I hung the phone up with the coordinator, the owner of the rescue, the woman in charge, I turned on Facebook to see if there were any messages, because I had been with a client before that. And the first thing I saw was a picture of Helen's cat that just was put down in June. And Miss Kitty. We couldn't find any pictures of her after she passed. I knew I had them, but they weren't on my phone. It showed up in Facebook memories the minute I hung the phone up, and the lady said that Helen could adopt the cat, the mama cat. So I talk about a sign, because we'd been looking for a couple months. She wanted to have a picture. She just was so upset she didn't have a picture of her cat that just passed. So they do find ways to reach out. But
absolutely.
Anyway,
absolutely.
So,
and
Mari, do you have somebody?
Yes, I got a couple more pictures in my Facebook Messenger. So I have a picture from Marie Cosmo. Hi, this is Cosmo. Handsome.
Try to put a picture. I don't know if we'll make it better if I put a picture for more people to see.
That's fine. Yeah. So is Cosmo is he still here? Is he still on this side, or?
I'm blurry. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yes, he's still here.
Okay. And did you have a question about him, or did you just want me to connect with him?
I have a couple of questions. I'd like to know if the recent things we've been trying to do for him are helping. He's had a thing going on since we've had him, which is a very long time, where you talked about somebody a cat screaming. He does that almost every night. like
interesting, like howling or
and his sleep. He's
barking.
yeah. And I'd like to kind of know what's at the root of that, or if there's something I can do energetically for him or physically for him.
Well, it's interesting. So as I'm connecting to him, because he's very happy. He has a very happy personality. He's very kind of happy-go-lucky guy as I'm connecting to him. But the piece about the yelling and the barking, now I don't know how old he is, but sometimes later at night, it's like when the sun goes down, it's like the sundowner syndrome. So I'm almost feeling like it might be part of that aging thing for him going on. But when I ask him why are you doing this? It's almost like there's some piece about the cognitive thing. I'm feeling a little bit with that. And again, like not a doctor, not prescribing or diagnosing. But with him, it's also like he's telling me like he wants the attention. So I don't know if it's that time of night when everybody else is busy and like everyone's doing their own thing, but he's like, no, like you need to pay attention to me. And have you tried and again, I don't know if it's like at dinner or if it's like midnight, have you tried going over to him and saying, I understand that you would like some attention. I understand that something's going on. What can I do to help you?
I've tried. So it happens like when we're all sound asleep. He's sound asleep.
Okay.
So we definitely try to give him a little bit more love and attention right before bedtime, just so he feels like loved and embraced before he goes to sleep. But like, I mean, we could go to bed at 10 and 2 o'clock in the morning, all of a sudden he's just screaming. And he's been doing this,
screaming,
which is 9 years.
He's asleep when he's doing it.
He's 99%.
Is he asleep or is he awake?
99% of the time he's asleep. Sometimes if he's barking out back at like some neighborhood dogs, he gets himself worked up into it. But like 99% of the time, it's like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, everybody's sound asleep, and he just lets loose with this like blood curdling howl. And he's been doing it for 9 every night.
Well, because when I'm connecting to him, he's talking to me about the attention piece. Obviously, you can't give him attention 24/7, although there's some animals that would like it that way. But it's also like I'm picking up like it's almost like an anxiety. It's almost like an outlet for anxiety that's coming out from him in the middle of the night, almost like a nightmare type of thing. But it feels to me as I'm asking him that he's more conscious than not about it. And again, I'm not a doctor, but I don't know if you've tried any like CBD type of things before he goes to bed, because he's talking to me. It's like he's happy when he's with you and he's happy to be around, and he's really saying he really likes to be in the mix. And again, I don't know if you've considered, like everyone has to do what's right for their household, but like letting him sleep with you, letting him snuggle with you, be with you, because he's saying like I want to be part of everything all the time. It's almost like some of the animals we have are just not happy to be on their own and doing their own thing, but he's like, no, I want to be with you all the time, like on your lap next to you. Like I want to be with the family all the time. And so I think that's part of it, is sort of that separation piece is sort of triggering his anxiety. And now it almost feels like a pattern. He's like, okay, well, I'm doing this all the time and it hasn't broken yet, so I'm going to keep going. So I would almost say like switching things up, like again, whether he can sleep with you or whether you go sleep with him. I don't know if you want to do that, but if something has to break that pattern, because it's the anxiety compounded with the consistency of doing it for so long.
Interesting. He does. I mean, he has chosen himself to not get on the bed anymore in his older age, but welcome on the bed. He comes up as soon as the sun comes up. He jumps up. He doesn't like to do it in the dark, like get up on the bed or not. He's welcome everywhere all the time. So I'm wondering if you said pattern, that I'm wondering if it's something from like his childhood where he had a separation trauma.
Yes, that's what I wanted to I was picking up, Marie, if you don't mind, Mari. I think he's just having a nightmare if it's doing it unconscious. And I think Mari's suggestion of some kind of product like CBD, that would be, I find dogs tend to develop anxieties as they get older. Like mine sticks to me like glue. If he wakes up and he doesn't know where I am, he panics. This is, I'm noticing in old age, but your dog is yelling out in his unconscious state. So it's not something he's doing. I think an anxiety that's bubbling up from his past as a puppy or a young dog. And that feeling is just coming up. And I think Mari's right. It might even now become ingrained as a pattern. So I just got the impression when you were speaking that this dog is needy. So it's not you not giving enough attention. He's just needy, which some of us are.
Yeah.
B, talk to your vet about something that would help him sleep through the night, whether it's CBD or they have calming treats. And I also would suggest you think about if he's not, I know it's probably his vision impairment because as they get older, their depth position is off. But when he jumps off your bed, are you noticing he's in any back hind leg pain? Hind leg to tailbone, that area?
I'm not noticing that. We did just start acupuncture for his arthritis for there. So
that's what it is. It's arthritis. That's what I meant to say. Are you noticing? So it could also be if he's laying, I'm sorry, sweetheart.
I'm curious if he has anything to say about whether or not he likes the acupuncture, if it's helping him or not.
I'm going to let Mari tune back in with him. I'm getting from spirit right now, which he could be a part of, but I'm also getting the arthritis. Now, if he's laying in the same position at night, and then he goes to move in his unconscious sleep, that could trigger a yelp. All right. So that's why if you have something like the CBD helps with arthritis pain, or talk to your vet about something like in that, especially since you're pursuing pain preventative with the acupuncture. That could also be a trigger. He's just laying sound asleep in one position and moving. But I do get anxiety issues from puppyhood. Definitely there.
Yeah, for sure. And what I wanted to add as well is, just while we're talking about him, is that what I would do if it was me, and again, I don't tell anybody how to lead their life, but I would get like an air mattress or something on the ground and see if he's interested in sleeping on it. I would sleep with him because you want to break the cycle. So if there's a way that, find somewhere, I would sleep in the dog bed, but I don't know if I want to ask you to do that, but just to cuddle with him. And so if he wakes up, you can be like you would with a child, like, it's okay, I'm here, everything's all right, we don't need to keep doing this, I understand. And I think because he needs that settling, I do feel like there are some issues from the childhood piece, but it's also like his sort of like, I'm a therapist, you would call it like generalized anxiety, so he's just sort of anxious. And so when this happens, it just kind of gets him going and he's like, oh, wait, what's going on? So I think having you there might try to break that cycle, along with trying the different type of pain things that she was talking about, the calming treats or the CBD or anything like that. So I was sort of visioning you on the floor or air mattress or something with him and see if that helps. And I want to because I know there's a couple other people waiting, but in terms of the acupuncture, it's interesting. He's saying he doesn't really love it. He's not loving it because it's like, I know the needles don't hurt that much, but there's something about the needles. He's like, I don't know, I don't really like it, but I think it's helping him a little. So sort of weigh to see like his discomfort with going to the place and how he acts after, whether it's sort of worth it. That's what he's telling me. He's like, yeah, it's a little scary. I don't know. I'm not loving it. It's something about after the needle goes in, it's almost like I'm feeling like a zapping feeling after the needle goes in with him. And sometimes like, because, I get acupuncture myself, sometimes that does happen. And it might be a little hard for him to understand. So I might weigh that to see if it's worthwhile for him, but keep us posted and let us know how it goes.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks to both of you.
You are very welcome.
God bless. I'll put them on my list.
Thank you.
Yes, me too.
Thanks for tuning in.
Of course. Did you have a picture you wanted to do, Winter? I didn't want to step over you.
No, but I was going to say, Sharon. Yeah. I always like to thank the light givers, and Sharon, you're donating so much time. Mari, maybe you could give a quick reading for one of Sharon's pets. She's the lady who's volunteered to do the fundraiser.
Sure. If you would like me to. Do you have a picture? I was just looking at my messenger, and is this your doggy that you sent me?
Yeah, my daughter's dog. Yeah, Kylo. My daughter Chrissy
Kylo, your
grew.
daughter's dog. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's the rescue from Puerto Rico.
Oh, very nice. Okay. So yeah, I didn't get that was yours. I'm just looking at the animals. I don't look at the people, the people names. So I'm in my own little world here. So Kylo, interesting. So did you have a question? The dog is currently with your daughter. Does she have a question, or is there some issue going on with him?
Yes. He just can't get the right diet for him for the last 2
Okay.
years. So she has him on a new food now.
Okay.
Natural food. So she wants to know if he likes the food, how it's agreeing with his stomach.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's interesting because as soon as I'm turning into Kylo, there's a lot of, I know we were talking about anxiety before. There's a lot of anxiety with him. And
Yes.
obviously if there's, if he came from Puerto Rico and he's been moved around, it feels like he's been moved around to a number of different places before he landed with your daughter.
Oh, okay.
So he really needs, because I think a lot of the stomach piece, I mean, definitely having, and again, not a vet. I always feel like I have to say that because people say, oh, well, Mari said, but like, I did not go to medical school. Having something really calming for his stomach would be good, whatever that would be, like a sensitive tummy type of food. Because as I'm talking to him, he's like, I'm not feeling any issues per se with his physical body. It's more the anxiety. It's like, if we're anxious, then our stomach gets all, and as I'm like connecting with him, my stomach is kind of flipping around. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. And so that's going to make you like, I don't know if he's vomiting or whatever with the previous food, throwing up, because I'm feeling like, I'm not going to throw up, but it does make me feel that way. So
yeah, he does.
That, like,
he does do that.
gross feeling. So so it's more with him that it's the anxious piece. And again, like we were talking about earlier, trying to get him some supplements or something like that might help a little bit, but with him, I really feel like it's going to be time. And people will say to me, oh, well, I've had my new dog a month, and why hasn't he calmed down? It's like, that's not enough time. And I'm not saying that your daughter is like that, but some animals take a really long time to sort of like relax into who they are, and I feel like he's had a lot of trauma. I don't know if he came from the streets, but I'm seeing almost like whether people were hitting him. I feel like almost like when you go to pet him, he's like this. And so I'm like, very nervous with him. And so he's just going to need a lot of love. And, and again, I don't know your daughter, but I think it would be important for her to be like, Kylo, like, we are here for you. This is your forever home. Because that's that other piece that he keeps saying to me, when's the other shoe going to drop? When, what's like, when are you going to get rid of me too? Like, am I like, and then there's like a lot of shame with him. He's a full package. He's got a lot of stuff going on. I'll just tell you that I probably can't cover in this amount of time, but so like the shame and the guilt, am I good enough? I'm not okay. And then like waiting for almost like, I'm almost feeling like he might be doing naughty things, whether it's chewing on things like, so you're going to reject me now? Like, is it, you know what I mean? Like almost like a little kid would do. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what he does.
Yeah. And so, but
he's had him over a year and a half already, and he still is, and he's got
yeah, he'll get better. And I know, and again, I don't like to tell people what to do, but some animals just take a long time. And, I have a cat, like I have multiple cats, but one of my cats, now she was just always nervous, always hiding under the bed, always just like, oh. And we've had her for, I want to say 6 or 7 years. So we've had her for a very long time. And I knew that she wasn't really like that, but she also had a lot of trauma, and I won't go into her history. But finally this year, and I'm not saying it's going to take Kylo that long, but finally this year, she's like a different cat because, and I'm not saying yay me, but in our household, we try to keep it loving and supportive. And we're like, it's okay. Her name is Kitten. My cat's name is Kitten. Like, Kitten, it's okay. We love you and you're going to be fine. And eventually over time, she was like, all right, I can trust this place. I can trust these people. And now she's like, I don't want to say a totally different cat, but like 80%, like she doesn't hide under the bed anymore. She comes out. She's not so nervous. She's not, and again, I don't think with Kylo, it's going to take that long, but you got to give them some time because just like people, some people go through trauma and they're, not okay, but they can manage. They get through it. They gut it out, whatever. And some people go through trauma and they are traumatized for a long time. And it really takes a lot of therapy, a lot of support to try to get them back to who they are. And it's the same thing with Kylo. I mean, I feel like underneath all of the that he's very sweet, he's very loving. He just needs to know he's in a place that A, it's his forever home. B, that he can trust everybody around. He really needs a really calm environment. And I would recommend, you know, like playing classical music or soft, like spa music. Definitely tell him if you're leaving, he probably doesn't even want you to leave. He probably freaks out every time you do leave or your daughter leaves. So say, look, I understand it's difficult for you, but I'm going to be back in an hour, or bring him if possible, and keep everything in this type of, you know, it's all right. And we're going to work through it. And it's consistency with that. And I realize that that is a lot to ask, and not everybody wants to do that. But if you're asking me what's going to support him the most, that's what I would recommend. But because he is a sweet boy underneath, he just really needs like time and love and support, because he's just so wound up right now.
He is, yeah. Well, he just got back also for being at Houndstown for a few days because we were upstate. So, so
or like in the daycare
either.
or whatever. Yeah, well, he probably doesn't like that very much. So I don't know if you're able to get somebody to come into the house. That would be better for him. But
I'm
putting him into like
her.
Yeah,
Every time I went.
if you can have somebody watch him, that would be way better for him, because putting him into a kennel, it's almost like that's going to trigger him to go back, to be like, oh my God, you're getting rid of me. Oh my God, it's finally time. It's happening. And like, it's going to blossom into that. And you don't want that. So, well, I hope that's been helpful. And
yes, it was.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And just give him a little time. He'll be okay. But he really needs the time and the consistency.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Happy to help.
Awesome.
Oh, wow. The hour just went so fast, Winter. I didn't know if you had anybody else. I'm sorry. You know, like once you get started with the reading, it's hard to kind of like, oh, sorry, that's it.
I think we did 4 or 5. And then we also, you know, gave people a tip on how to do it on their own. For the last couple minutes, Mari, did you want to just remind them what's coming up for you? Then I will, and then I'll pull the animal card for everybody, which would
Sounds
be good. Seeing this afterwards on the recordings.
Absolutely, that sounds good. In terms of me, I do have a mentorship that I run. I am not going to be starting that up until the new year, just because it's crazy busy. I have one of my children is doing all the college application stuff. And if anyone's ever been through that, it's a nightmare. This is, you know, my 3rd. So we've already done this a lot. So we're trying to sort of get through that. So I can't really do much until the new year, but I will be offering my mentorship. It's one-on-one mentorship. It's a certain number of sessions. I think you can pick like 4, 6, 8, 10, and you work directly one-on-one with me. And it's very tailored in terms of, you know, the experience. If you're interested in learning about animal communication, that might be for you if you really want that one-on-one experience. I also do that for like a psychic intuitive mediumship connection as well. In terms of my, like the media stuff and everything, I have an article, I can't even remember what I wrote it about, to be honest. I wrote it so long ago, but there's an article that's coming out that I wrote in Next on Scene magazine. That's going to be in their holiday issue. So I think it's like November, December. There's just an article that came out that they wrote about me in the US Insider. That's online. The Next on Scene is online and in print as well. I also teach at a spirit school, the Mediumship Matters Spirit School. You can find that online, and all this info is on my website in terms of where you can find me. And I am going to be on the Ghostly Hour on KCOR Radio with David Cook. It's on a Sunday. I haven't figured out which one, probably sometime in October. You can find me on there, and looking forward to adding more stuff to the list. So you can always find me at my website, mediummari.com. I'm on all the socials, Instagram, TikTok, etc. Drop me a note and would love to connect with you.
Awesome. Thanks, Mari. So Wednesday night this week, I'm starting a 6-part. It's more geared for beginner to slightly intermediate on psychic, mediumship, animal communication, and remote viewing / astral projection, and we'll also cover the basics like grounding, shielding, blending. Blending is so important in this mediumship world. Mid-October, I will be teaching for another school called Spirit School that's based out of Vancouver, and I'll be teaching trance mediumship, and we will cover blending with the loved ones on the other side, animals. I do ETs as well. It's a fun class. And channeling and automatic writing, maybe, depending on how we set it up. That will be daytime for the Eastern Seaboard. I'm in person if you're on Long Island. I'm doing a couple of talks out east of Long Island at Riverhead Library, I believe, and Greenport. And there'll be a mediumship and just mediumship mania, as we call it. The big thing I wanted to push, Sharon is coming out as a professional demonstrating mediumship. We're doing a Zoom. She has studied and she's done one-on-ones, but we're donating all the proceeds to an online Zoom animal communication and spirit messages on Tuesday, September 26th. The tickets are only $25, and the proceeds are going to be used for the little kittens that you saw today. They need to be, fixed and vaccinated and all that good stuff. And they also need homes. So as you noticed, I had 4 6.5-week-old kittens pretty much sleeping on my chest, not getting too nutchy. So they're they're lovely kittens. I've been spending a lot of time with them. I've had them interact with big dogs, little dogs, men, women, children, old people. So they're really socialized too. So if you're thinking about adding to your home, please reach out to me. Even if you're out of state, they can probably work something out. The rescue is Second Chance Animal Rescue League Incorporated. So
ready for the card? I'm ready for the card. I want to see what the card has to say.
I'm just tired of that. You want to add stuff. I don't. So this is my animal communication, or what is it? The deck is the Animal Tarot cards by Radley Valentine.
Oh yeah, we love Radley. Yeah.
And I just love animals. So the animal card for the show and for everybody here is the 8 of Autumn. And it's the parrot. Everybody can see a parrot. It is the perfect time to learn all you can by returning to school, taking a seminar, or conducting research. Do your best work under the law of attraction. It will bring you prosperity and career advancement. So, folks, I just talked about my beginner class, which could be a good springboard to Mari's mentorship courses in January. I also offer mentorship in different areas that I cover. If you don't want to go with us, just look out there. Take on a new course. That's what Spirit's saying. I myself, even though I teach, I also am a student. So I just started a class on star beings. I want to learn more about ETs. So just kind of spreading those wings and opening my mind even further to what may be out there. And Spirit is validating that everyone who watches this today should also think about it. Now, you don't have to do metaphysical. You could take a class on baking. You could take a class on income tax preparation. But the point is, they're saying this is a good time, and it is a good time because September is traditionally in the US, where most of our attendees are from, is when the kids go back to school between August, mid-August to mid-September. So perfect time. You'll get into that juju energy of new teachers, new learning, and spread and unfold yourself. See what other potential you have. So God bless everyone. We will let you know what the dates are for October and November in about a week or so.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thanks for joining us on Spirit Chat, and look forward to seeing everybody next month.
Awesome. Take
Bye.
care. God bless.